Welcome back, guys. It's Will from HPT Group, and we're just going to be speaking about today non-resident offshore accounts around the world. Now, opening one, again, what you've probably read online is most likely outdated, I would say, and it can be extremely impossible. You've probably tried, been rejected, and the problem really is you don't really know where to look, and obviously that's what we do. But before we actually dive into it, if you're new here, we help entrepreneurs, digital nomads, business owners set up offshore companies, bank accounts, trusts, tax-efficient solutions, fintech solutions. Now, I get asked the same question every single day. Will, where can I actually open an offshore bank account as a non-resident? So let's actually break it down. Is it easy? Yes. Is it hard? It's also hard, but is it complex? Not really at all. So the number one and the easiest option right now, I actually made a video on this, would be Georgia, okay? Georgian banks, I use Solo over there, which is owned by the Bank of Georgia. There's also TBC. And these are operational opening accounts for non-residents, often without requiring a visit in person. You can do it remotely for an agent or with a local power of attorney. So the requirements are pretty straightforward. It's basically just a passport, proof of address, source of funds declaration, no minimum deposit, and in most cases, through holding tens of thousands of US dollars or equivalent funds to smooth things along. You don't need to be doing this with Georgia. But the catch is, for business accounts, it's not really great, okay? If you're doing high transactional volume, not great either. They're pretty conservative, but for personal wealth, personal spending, holding multiple currencies, earning surprisingly decent interest rates, actually, pretty hard to beat, right? So that's option number one. Now, number two, we are going to be looking at Mauritius. Mauritius, I also bank in. It has been on the radar for a fair few years now, but it has been changing slightly. Several banks there have actually got a lot more flexible recently, unlike you would actually imagine. We've got Afro-Asia and MCB, again, accepting non-residents, particularly if you've got a Mauritius company or a global business license. Now, the sweet spot here is actually pairing a Mauritius holding company with local banking. You know, you get a stable, well-regulated access to African and Asian markets, and surprisingly, a sophisticated banking system. So minimum deposits, again, usually start around $10,000, $20,000, but you'll typically need to fly in for the actual account opening. But once you're actually set up, it runs very smoothly. I have not visited Mauritius in a very long time, and my account is still working completely fine. Moving on to number three, I would say would be Singapore. So Singapore, I know what you're thinking. This is going to be bloody difficult, but, at the end of the day, individuals without a business there, can they open an account? Yes, they can. There is a workaround. So if you do set up a Singapore company with genuine substance, actual operations, contracts, invoices flowing through, banks like DBS, OCBC, and HSBC, of course, in Singapore will open your corporate accounts. The key is demonstrating a real business reason to be there. Now, personal accounts, again, they are much harder, but with a significant deposit of around $200,000 to $300,000 US dollars, we can get you one of those accounts right there as long as you check out on the compliance front. We have done this with a few clients around the world, and again, if you have not gone and already reached out to us, you can go ahead and do so below. Check out the links on our website and apply to become a client today. But for entrepreneurs looking for Singapore accounts, running a legitimate international business, Singapore banking is very achievable and probably the world's best, okay? Now, number four, guys, one I have never spoken about on this YouTube channel, and that one is specifically for Americans with US business ties, and that's Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico international banks operate under the US jurisdiction, but with significant tax advantages under, I think it's Act 20 and Act 22, now consolidated under the Act of 60. Now, banks like Banco Popular and First Bank will open accounts for bona fide business relocating operations there. The beauty, you get US dollar accounts, US banking rails, but a path to significant tax reduction if you structure things properly and establish a genuine presence over in Puerto Rico and you are a US national, right? So it's not relevant for everyone, but if you are a US person, we generally deal with more Europeans and global expats rather than US individuals at HPT Group. But again, we have dealt, especially with the past 2 to 3 weeks, we've had 2 clients who are currently renouncing their US passports. Very common. And again, if you did want to, reach out, have a consultation, ask some questions, we can design a blueprint for that to actually happen for you. So it's not relevant for everyone, but if you're a US person obviously looking to not renounce your passport but legally reduce your tax burden, could be a great option for you right there. And number 5, spoken about it a lot, Dubai, okay? It gets a lot of hype. Some of it is deserved, some of it isn't. But here's a reality in 2026. UAE banks have become much more pickier of who they accept. So the days of walking in saying, you earn $300,000 a year and you just open an account, just like I did in Canada actually myself. With the Emirates MBD, again, it's mostly over, okay? What's actually going on now is having your local card, a bit of a residence permit there, proper company formation either in mainland, or a free zone like Ajman or DIFC, for example, with well-documented business activity. Banks like FAB, Mashreq, Emirates NDB will open corporate accounts, but expect some, thorough due diligence. They want to see your business plan, client contracts, and projected cash flows. The upside, once you're in, UAE banking is generally excellent. You've got multi-currency accounts, international transfers, good online banking, and 0 income tax on profits if it's sitting in your UAE company. Yes, above a certain threshold, is usually 9%. But yeah, now what to avoid before we wrap up this video is, I would stay clear of the Caribbean banks right now, unless you have a specific reason to be there. Belize, Nevis, BVI banks are under huge regulatory pressure. And again, corresponding banking relationships are fragile there. You might find yourself stuck in those if those relationships do break down. Again, I'm a fintech owner myself of an MSB in Canada. I'm very aware about payment rails and correspondent banking rails as well. And it is quite alarming when I do look at some of the licenses and who their banking partners are. Over in the Caribbean, for companies, for trusts, whatever, could be fantastic. But for the actual bank account itself, no, you'll be banking overseas, typically London with those companies, or somewhere in the EU on an EMI payment rail. So yes, they are an exotic option. You do see promoted online. Would I be going for them? Probably not. If someone's promising you they can open an account in 3 days with just your passport and no due diligence, it's probably a big red flag. It's not a feature, mate. So what I tell every client, don't just focus on where you can open an account, focus on where you should open an account. And that's how we do help actual clients around the world. So if you actually want help to actually figure out the right banking and corporate structure for your situation, that's custom, very tailored solution to you, that's what we do at HPT Group. You can apply to become a client down below. But all right, guys, that's it for today. Please drop a like, drop a comment if you've got any questions, or if there's a specific jurisdiction you would like me to cover next. Then please get in contact. And I'm Will. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.